Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Triple Down Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And please, for those who have been following me, I want to thank you. And I'm pleased that you're enjoying the commentary. And please share it with people you find this information to be informative. And guess who has popped out of nowhere? One of our old black actors from the 70s who had one of the greatest television shows in the last 55 years. And that show was Sanford and Son with Red Fox, who was from St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I'm coming from. But his son, Lamont, as we know, the Red Fox is deceased. But remember his son, Lamont Sanford, better known as Demond Wilson, who played Lamont Sanford on Sanford and Son from 1972 through 1977. And then he played Oscar Madison in The New Odd Couple from 1982 to 83. He's 77 years old now. He's originally from Valdosta, Georgia, and then he grew up in New York City where he studied tap dance and ballet. He did a new interview on Comedy Hype that was very, very interesting and revealing with Norman Lear, who has been accused of stealing the idea from a black writer from Chicago who hitchhiked to LA back in the 60s, named Eric Monty. And I'm going to do a video about him soon. Norman Lear stole several shows from him and ideas. Good Times, Sanford and Son. He also was the one who wrote Cooley High, that was based about high school students in Chicago. And my mother is from Chicago and went to Farragut back in those early days. But Demond Wilson, oh man, he gave a really, really good commentary about how he felt about Hollywood. As I told you, he grew up in New York. He did tons of off-Broadway plays. He served in the U.S. Army from 1966 to 68, and was in the he was in the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam. And so he has given his service to his country, and then he came back and became an actor. And what's real interesting about those early shows, The Jeffersons, that was another show that Eric Monte had conjured up as an idea that Norman Lear stole also. So Good Times, Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons, Norman Lear took those from this black writer and creator. But Demond Wilson, he had some really interesting things to say about Hollywood. He said he never went to Hollywood parties. He never cared about that kind of stuff. He did his job and he went home. And one of the things about those actors back in those days, whether it's Sherman Hemsley or Demond Wilson, is that they played these stereotypical characters, and it didn't give an appearance like they had to do much acting. But these guys had some really strong theater backgrounds, and it's not surprising how they ended up on television and created these roles that you even forgot who Demond Wilson was as the real person, and you thought of him only as Lamont Sanford. And I'm sure over the last 45 years, when people run into him, they don't even know his name is Demond Wilson. They probably call him Lamont Sanford, and it's probably irritating as hell to keep being referred to as the character. I'm sure Sherman Hemsley went through that same thing with George Jefferson. They encapsulated those roles so well that people forgot that they were even an outside person in real life. But Demond had some very strong things to say. He said he never really kept in touch with Red Fox after the show ended. He spoke to him once about a particular 50th anniversary for Red Fox where he was going to make $1 million. and the studios had reached out to Damon to talk to Red Fox, and he told the studios that he hadn't talked to him in years. He didn't think it was going to go well, and of course it did not. And Red Fox blew $1 million for this celebration they were trying to do for him. So Red Fox was a piece of work on camera and off camera. Everybody says that. But the big thing that Damon had said in his comedy hype interview is that he referred to demonic Hollywood and the powers that be and the actors that end up escalating into this stratospheric popular status as Bendover Billies, alluding to that there are all kinds of alternative lifestyle acts that take place in order for these actors to become at the top of the food chain in the entertainment industry. And I think everybody knows it finally came out before Sherman Hemsley died that he was gay. And I think he was in a relationship with a white man in New York for many, many years. It is surprising to me for a man in his mid-50s that grew up on these TV shows on how many of these guys were actually homosexual or gay or what have you, and they played such strong roles. There is a heavy abundance of gay males in Hollywood. I mean, you've always heard that stereotype, but I guess in today's time with social media and everybody can have a voice, it is fully being exposed. You always worried about if you went to jail being raped, especially in my age group, is back in the 70s and 80s. You worried about going to jail and getting raped and all this kind of homosexual activity. But man, you didn't have to go to jail for there to be man-on-man relationships out in the real world. And I didn't know that there was such a heavy level of activity going across the tracks, so to speak. And for Damon, at 77 years old, once he ended his career, he became a pastor, and he pastored all over the country and the world, and he has never missed a beat about Hollywood and doesn't give a damn about it. And he said all, but he said many of those actors that went to those parties, and I'm talking about the men, the actors, he called them Bendover Billies. That's a new term, or pillow biters. And I thought that was a very, very interesting statement for him to make. He has been married. If anybody's wondering if he was straight or gay, he's straight. He's been married to the same woman since 1974 and has 6 children with her. And he said that the way that you get to the top is that you have to do favors. And many of them, many times, whether it's male or female, were sexual favors. And the level of exposure that's taking place with this alternative lifestyle, which I don't care what people do. I'm not against the LGBTQ community whatsoever. People can do and be whoever they want to be or want to do. But these allegations with Will Smith, with Sean P. Diddy Combs, with Russell Simmons, they even said, I've heard rumors of Andre Harrell, who was the president of Uptown Records, that he was gay or bisexual. Jamie Foxx, you've heard all of these rumors and allegations. It is just amazing and astonishing to me. And I guess for someone like Damon Wilson to refer to many of the people in Hollywood as Bendover Billies gives some kind of confirmation that I guess a lot of this stuff is really taking place. Even T.D. Jakes is being alleged to have participated in alternative lifestyle type choices. Yeah, remember Eddie Long? I think he ended up dying of AIDS. The pastor, I think he was out of Atlanta, Georgia. There have been several rumors about what's the guy's name that did Medea, have been several allegations about him and alternative lifestyles, and it is just amazing that all of this kind of behavior has been taking place in these hidden agendas for many, many years. We have this axiom of do whatever we want by any means necessary to get the bag, no matter how much it strips you ethically and morally. And it's making Hollywood look more and more demonic each and every day. And now you don't know who has participated in those behaviors. You know, women throughout the history of Hollywood have had to do favors to get roles. But I did not know that you had all these men, white men, black men, that were participating in these sexual favors to fast forward their career. But yeah, Damon Wilson did a Comedy Hype interview, and he said all of them. And I don't know what all means, but he said all of these male actors are Bendover Billies. And I was like, wow, I think I need to do a video about that. So for all the young people that are heading out to Hollywood, just know there are favors and there's a price you're going to pay for your fame. Do not go out there and be completely green and think that you're going to get a job based on your talent and ability. There is a certain level of stripping your soul in order for you to garner your fame, and that is somewhat unfortunate. And if all of these things are taking place in the entertainment, the music business, the movie business, I don't understand why young people today will not go into more traditional roles. Stay away from that nonsense. Become a doctor, lawyer, teacher, police officer, fireman. I've said this in my previous videos. Do not usurp your entire soul for the almighty dollar, and then years later you regret it. So think about it, listen to these stories, make lifestyle choices that are positive, manifest your truth in the right direction. And Damon Wilson referred to many of the male Hollywood actors as Bendover Billies. That is very amazing, shocking, and he's been in the business for over 50 years. He sounds like he's speaking his truth, and I'm not saying all male actors have an alternative lifestyle, but he sure makes it sound like there is a lot of stuff going on at these private parties, these private homes in the Hollywood Hills that have nothing to do with your ability as an actor. Well, thank you for listening to this Trevor Donald commentary. I want to do a short one on Damon Wilson, the great actor from Sanford and Son, who was Lamont Sanford, and check out his videos and him talking about Hollywood and the demonic forces that run it. See you next time.